Aha, right. Hello, everyone. We are live. I'm joined by Arch, and we're going to be talking about the escalation of the culture wars. How are you doing, Arch?
I'm doing fine, thank you, but Owen Jones is doing less good, I heard.
Yes, I'll send you the article and we can go through it. Because, yes, so... Oh, wrong one.
That is just a picture from your personal
Yeah,
folder.
it is indeed. It's my wank my wank bank that I just sent to you there. I'm trying to render you a Jordan Peterson audio clip from notjordanpeterson.com, but it's massively overburdened. It keeps timing out because it's amazing. For anyone who hasn't watched my last video, it seems that Jordan Peterson deepfakes are a thing, and they're indistinguishable almost from the real thing, which is staggering. What did you make of the march?
I just heard the one that was posted, and I genuinely did not know whether or not it was him or some kind of audio trick.
Yeah, honestly fucking scary, isn't it? Like, how good are these? But so yeah, we're going to be cleaning our Reich soon enough. But so Owen Jones has been beaten up in a blatant premeditated assault. According to the Huffington Post, today, the journalist was celebrating his birthday when he and his friends were attacked. So I just want to be the first to say, oh no. And then bring up this post from January 2017. I see why people are still annoyed about Nazis being punched, but I think some of us are still a bit sore about the Nazis' systematic mass murder of tens of millions of people and the ruination of the European continent, and their plans to carry on where they left off. Some of the comments here are along the lines of "violence solves nothing." Park the incident involving US neo-Nazi dweeb and his little green frog badge. Do you seriously think that Adolf Hitler was defeated by people sitting around singing Kumbaya? So Owen Jones is fine with us punching Nazis, and it turns out that the Nazis punch back. So he says he's been beaten up in a blatant premeditated assault in a bunch of Twitter posts. So he says, this is a bit dramatic, so firstly I'm fine, but last night when I was celebrating my birthday, I was attacked, along with my friends, in a blatant premeditated assault. 6 of us left the pub at 3 a.m, we were saying goodbye to our goodbyes 30 metres away, and then a group of 3 or 4 men left the pub, made a beeline for me, kicked me in the back, threw me on the ground, slamming my head and kicking me in the skull. My friends were punched trying to defend me. The group then scarpered. I don't know if they said anything in the melee. I'm fine other than a big bump in my head and a cut back. Given the far-right attacks I've had in the streets and generally escalating far-right threats I've had, I'm in no doubt as to what this is, and thanks to friends who are defending me. So what do you think?
Well, that sounds like he's leaping to a fair bit of a conclusion, first and foremost, but let's just assume, let's give him that he was indeed jumped by far-right activists, because considering everything, that's not impossible, but I mean, he has no right to bitch about this. Genuinely, he does not. He has argued for the use of violence in place of politics, and, well, Owen Jones, this is exactly what you wanted. It's a bad idea, isn't it?
Yeah, we said that from the word go. It doesn't matter how much you dislike Richard Spencer. If he's standing around not committing violence, you've got no right to touch him. He has every right to do that unmolested by you, Owen, you fucking communist. But yeah, I've got very little sympathy, but I do have to stress, do not attack Owen Jones. He is a plebeian, he is an idiot, he is a dirtbag communist, but like Richard Spencer, he also has the right to go unmolested, and you were in the wrong if you touch him. So Brian Umru says, thanks for all the terrific content. Oh, thank you, Brian. Are you keeping an eye on Portland and Hong Kong? Big protest this weekend. Yeah, we'll be going through some of the Portland stuff. It's probably still ongoing, as it's only like 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, but we'll trawl the Twitter hashtags and see what we can find. Sorry I have to miss the stream, but here's some money to help you out. Have a great day. Oh, thank you very much, Sam. Really appreciate it. I'm currently at the International Conference for Men's Issues. I didn't have anything to do this afternoon, so I'm doing this, and then I'm going to finish off my speech for tomorrow, and then I'll go and socialise. But yeah, so obviously don't do this. Like, I mean, and the worst part is you make Owen Jones into a martyr. You turn him into, I told you, I was right. The fascist, blah 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 blah. It's like, ugh. Don't help him out by making him a martyr.
And the entire thing, all too, here is, even if you disagree with your political opposition, yada yada yada, the reason why you shouldn't attack them, it's not even a moral one. It is, obviously, but it's also just so you yourself can live in peace without having to worry about this. Because does any one of us need this? Do we need street battles? I mean, come on.
Well, no, that's exactly it. Even if the moral appeals don't work, then okay, it's for your own self-interest. Just don't do it. And then you can. And this is the fundamental problem with Antifa. They have been initiating this, and I'm watching the Proud Boys trending in the USA. Right, it's. I'll get the Twitter thing up so people can see. Right, it's trending in the US. Trending with hashtag Portland protest organization of terror. The Proud Boys. It's like really, okay, fine. I mean, if the Proud Boys are trending as an organization of terror, then Antifa have to as well. They are just the response to Antifa. That's what they are. And Antifa, I mean, like, speak to Andy No about how Antifa are. He was assaulted in the street unprovoked the other day, had to go to hospital with bleeding on the brain. So we're not going to pretend that either side is innocent, although I have to say, I find the Proud Boys to be less intimidating than Antifa. I really think that goes for, like, even leftists. If a bunch of leftists walked up to the Proud Boys and said, we'd like to talk to you about your beliefs, I bet they'd do it. I bet they would do it.
Well, like you said, the Proud Boys appear to be a reaction to this. So whilst we should not excuse their actions, well, if it's gotten to the point where this is necessary, where, protests against this are necessary, then clearly it's already gone too fucking far, hasn't it? And now we need to discuss about how to stop it instead of further breaking down on one side. And this is not the time for partisanship unless we want this to continue.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the hashtag Portland protests now, and the top one is some verified checkmark with "This really says it all," with a screen cap of trending Proud Boys trending with organization of terror. It's like, yeah, that shows you the bias of Twitter, Greg. You fucking verified idiot. So,
and that's only going to make it worse too. Like, again, we recently had YouTube's blacklist fucking leaked. It's very, very clear that there is an organized bias here, and people are seeing it, and they're getting angry, unsurprisingly.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't think the Proud Boys are fascists either. Obviously, there's like loads of imagery on Twitter here, fuck off fascists. I don't think they're actually fascists.
Well, fascist doesn't mean fascist anymore.
Yeah.
It's one of the many words that have completely lost its meaning.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just Republicans, to be honest. Like, I don't think they're actually fascists. So, I mean, like, for example, there's like this one picture here. This guy's wearing a stab vest of some sort with "I hate the left and racism" written on it. And one of the things that I found really amazing when I went out to Berkeley is I met a bunch of the Proud Boys, and well, a lot of them just weren't white. Like, there's this giant Samoan guy called Tiny, and a bunch of others who they're not white. They just really hate leftists. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, but you don't have to be white to be a white supremacist anymore. This is modern white supremacy. It's remarkably inclusive in reality.
You'd think that the left would be kind of impressed, really.
Yeah. I mean, they've been trying to get this kind of unity for ages.
Yeah. The leftists appear to have turned up with coloring equipment and like stuff that looks like it's come from a daycare center to, the sort of stuff that you keep kids entertained with by, painting and stuff like this, which doesn't surprise me at all as they seem to be overgrown children. Like, it looks like a kid's party.
Maybe they're thinking that they can engage the Proud Boys in some kind of team building exercise by painting colors or something. I don't know.
I don't know what flag is it where you've got light blue, light pink, and white.
Light blue, light pink, and light
white in the flag. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's the straight pride flag. I think that doesn't have white on it. But it's unironically, I'll send you a link to this. This is just like, what the fuck am I looking at, right? So, like, if I don't know what banana block is or why there are people dressed as bananas. I don't know.
Banana Republic?
I don't know whose side they're on. I don't know what's going on here. They're bringing music and dancing. Oh, I think they're leftists. Honestly, they're embarrassing. Like, they're dressed as bananas and they're dancing. What the hell is wrong with these people? Like, they're not taking this seriously, are they?
I'm sure it made a lot of sense when they came up with it. But maybe that's giving them a little bit too much credit. I don't even find out. Oh, here we go. That flag is the transgender flag because there is a transgender flag.
Right. Okay.
So these are transgender bananas.
Well, that's good to know. I honestly had no idea. Sorry, let's go through some of the super chats. I keep not doing them. Fucking bananas, honestly. What the hell? Comicsgate is dead. We funded Ethan Van Sciver for $900,000, but now he's on his 5th crowdfund before delivering the first 3. All he's delivered so far is a $40 reprint of a $4 SJW comic that he drew a new cover for. Christ, is that true? I have no idea. I haven't been following Comicsgate. The only person from Comicsgate I follow is a guy called The Fourth Age, who does amazing. He does really amazing videos. Actually, what he does is he writes out a proper philosophical argument and then applies that to the comic industry, but not like in a meta sense, not in an individual sense. So the arguments he's making go much further than the comic books themselves. They go to he's speaking to the human condition. The Fourth Age, I definitely recommend people check him out. Actually, he's really good. I don't tend to watch any of the other content though because it's just not my wheelhouse, you know.
Yeah, I don't know about this either, honestly. I followed Comicsgate a little bit, like a year or so ago, and it seemed like all of them were, starting Kickstarters back then. The one I had been looking at was, I don't remember his name, but he had a Kickstarter for a comic called Jawbreakers, I believe, and he did deliver on it, as far as I'm aware. I remember him talking about sending out the copies and stuff, but I don't know about Ethan Van Sciver.
Right, okay, well, I mean, if you do a Kickstarter, either deliver or refund, is my opinion.
Fairly simple.
Yeah, so yeah, it's that simple. Hey Arch, why do I feel like someone is going to make a God Emperor reference during the next mass shooting and then our hobby is going to get messed with? Just don't, is all I'm saying.
Well, very soon it's going to be commonplace now. It's going to be mainstream. We're going to have people with 40k quotes in their fucking Twitter bios, like Vala Morgulis, and it's going to be horrible.
Oh, fuck's sake. Don't go on a mass shooting spree, and don't make God Emperor references. In fact, don't make references to anyone other than Owen Jones.
I did it all in the name of Owen Jones.
Yeah, Owen Jones made me do this. Don't do that. Don't go on any shootings, for fuck's sake. Arch, sell us Greenland. Did you hear about this?
I did not.
Oh, right. Well, the God Emperor was like, hey, I might buy Greenland for the United States. Let me...
I see. Why the fuck would you want Greenland?
Well, it'd be an interesting place to put the refugees, wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes, it would.
I mean...
It would make them go home.
Well, yeah. It's how Finland got rid of their refugees. But the thing is,
Also, sadly, I can't sell it. Greenland was stolen from us by the Danes, those shit weasels.
yeah, I'll send you a link. The sneaky Danes were like, no, we're not going to sell you Greenland. It's like, oh, what? It's valuable, is it? Denmark, you know. Trump warned the island cannot be bought from Denmark. Greenland has said that it is not for sale after President Trump stated that he would like the US to buy the world's biggest island. President said to have discussed the idea of purchasing Greenland, an autonomous Danish territory, during dinners and meetings with advisors. We're open for business, not for sale, they say. I don't see what the problem is, really. I imagine that US investment into Greenland would be entirely beneficial to Greenland.
The problem is Greenland is a fucking worthless piece of ice and shit that has one of the world's highest suicide rates and alcoholism rates for a very bloody good reason. Because it's Greenland.
Well, that's my point. Like,
it.
Like what?
Let me tell you a funny story. When Leif Erikson discovered Greenland, he looked around and was like, wow, this is fucking horrible. Nobody's going to want to come here. But I really do need money for my next expedition. So what if I tell them it's Greenland?
I have heard this story, and I'm dubious of the truth of it, because
it's the opposite of Iceland.
Yeah, well, that name was already taken, right?
Like, he tried that, didn't work. So this was Greenland.
But I've heard rumors
Icicle land.
I've heard rumors that it was during, like, you know, the medieval warm period or something. It may actually have been green when he got there.
Well,
warming.
Tiny little portions of it along the fucking coast.
Yes, but technically that counts as green. So, like, Leif brings them over and shows them.
That very same technicality was what he rested upon.
But the thing is, I looked into this. There were farms there. They found, like, you know, the remains of ancient Scandinavian farms. So it must have had something that was able to be cultivated there at some point, but obviously not now.
Oh, well, no, you can still grow stuff on Greenland. It's just that it is way harder and harsher than, well, basically any other fucking alternative.
Is it easier than growing cauliflower in the desert?
I haven't tried, but I would assume that it's about the same.
All right.
Ethnic vegetables.
It is an absolute
If these vegetables had an accent, it would be...
It would be Hispanic, yeah. So the BBC say that Trump has reportedly taken an interest in Greenland, in part because of its natural resources such as coal, zinc, copper, and iron ore. So while it currently might be rich in minerals, it currently relies on Denmark for 2/3 of its budget revenue and has high rates of suicide, alcoholism, and unemployment. But the thing is, I bet the United States could solve that.
Yeah, they could bring in their own high rates of gun violence and breaking. It'd fix the suicide problem, at least. It will be gun violence now.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, they can probably offer them extra money and start, like, you know, investing. I bet that, you know, American entrepreneurs could start creating, I don't know, heating systems or something like this and make Greenland a livable place.
Livable.
MGGA doesn't roll off the tongue, though.
The real big issue with Greenland is there are deposits of natural minerals there, but they're all in just terrible places, and almost universally, it would cost far more to extract them than you could ever truly earn from it. It's the same reason why we, in Norway, shut down our coal mining operation on one of our most northernmost islands, because it was so fucking shit, we had to give tax benefits to people to move there.
Yeah, I can believe it. I've spent some time on Google Maps looking at some of the northern, like, Arctic Norwegian islands, and I'm just like, why would anyone go here? And this, I can never understand this with, like, Eskimos. It's like you're traveling across the Bering Land Bridge, and it's frozen, it's icebound, and whoever's leading the group's like, okay, we'll stop here. It's like, will we? Why would we stop here? Like, what good is here? Why wouldn't we just keep going until we go further south? Why would we not do that? But anyway, the Bronze Goose. Breaking news. Communist twink who advocated for political violence gets punched in a bout of political violence. Yes, he does. Well, that's what he gets.
Well, they aren't punching the right people. It's not the system that's flawed. It's the execution, you see.
My condolences to Arch to thinking he is British. Your English is better than Sargon's. Loved your Vrax and Armageddon series. Can't wait for more. See, Arch, you should be doing your own streams so you can get these super chats for yourself.
Thank you very much, dude. But streaming. I will pick it up eventually once my internet is less than horrifying.
Right, okay. By the way, Thane says, Arch, great work in the debate yesterday. Easy win. Yeah, man, you were smashing it.
How did that go?
Really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the end of it, the Arch had made really clear and concise points that were, I mean, just demonstrably true from the subject matter at hand. And this guy was kind of like, yeah, but what if? And it's like, no. He had no good comeback to any of it. And then he got to...
It was...
Sorry, go on. No. I had to leave for an appointment about probably, I don't know, halfway, 2/3 or something. And I got to the point where it was like, yeah, well, the Bible doesn't justify it. And it's like, oh, really? Is that where we're going? Is it? Because, okay, yeah, I agree. The Bible didn't justify it. It was other things that justified it, namely an invasion from a foreign religion that justified it. But are you suggesting that it's only valid if the Quran or the Holy Book justifies it? Because then what you're saying is, like, the Quran is literally justifying holy war.
Yeah, if we're going to go to holy books as sources, all right, we can do that. Sure. Open your Qurans, kids.
Yeah, exactly.
There. If you're interested in having a look at it, I put the thing in the chat. So there you go. But, yeah, no, it was... I don't know. I think we came at it from extraordinarily different positions. He had a very clear idea that he had a moralistic argument, and, well... I didn't.
Islam didn't do nothing. That was his position, man. But the thing is, like, there's nothing morally unjustified about self-defense.
Well, no, absolutely not. In fact, it at points is not just not English. At times, it is actually morally just to defend yourself. It is a moral good.
Yeah, it's a duty to defend yourself. And to defend others. Arch always leaves before you read my super chats, but you two are my favourite content creators, so I hope you do more of these. Well, thankfully Arch is, willing to come on and have a chat with me, which is always really nice. So thank you. Apparently, Antifa are trying to infiltrate infiltrate the other group with weapons. By the way, I love how Arch talks, says Thomas Jefferson. An attractive lady, apparently.
It's high praise coming from him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right. But yeah, I've seen rumors about this and suggestions that they got into a group chat with the Proud Boys and that they're planning for violence, and it's like, I mean, they probably are. But then so are Antifa. I've seen the Antifa training camp videos that Vice put up where they complain about the patriarchy being recreated in their Antifa training camps because the women are making the Molotov cocktails and the men are practicing throwing them. And it's like, well, there we go, patriarchy.
Well, gender cohesion. I thought that's what we wanted.
Well, here's an idea. Why don't you communists try the whole mixed male and female unit tactics in the next Great War? And we'll try the all-male approach, and we'll see who wins.
Honestly, for me, it's just like, look, if even the most fervent, dedicated, radical leftists can't eradicate patriarchy, I don't think there's any hope for the rest of us, so I'm not even going to bother trying. Just accept it. It's a part of life, okay? Spasmaticus with it. So I watch Seth Zench, or however you pronounce it. I love his videos, and I love the one about, I can't remember which Heroes one it was, but I watched it the other day, and yeah, the Spasmaticus thing is so fucking funny, and the picture is hilarious. But he says, just finished Rules for Radicals. What a scary book. Well, it's a book of tactics. This a lot of people misunderstand Rules for Radicals because it was written by a small c communist. But it's not actually a book promoting communism. What it is a book promoting revolution by the proletariat. And it's not even violent either. It's actually like cultural revolutions, how you can defeat your political enemies without using violence or even anything illegal, just by using cultural factors. And it's something that everyone should read if they want to enact change. MVP says, you tried civil discourse, it didn't work very well. Well, it worked out pretty well, actually. I didn't get punched, and Owen Jones did, you know. The side for civil discourse is still going, hey, this is the way to do things. T-shirt idea, this is what a Trump voter looks like, we should all be Proud Boys. Well, to be honest with you, I'd probably get fucking deplatformed if I put we should all be Proud Boys. I'm in trouble with Facebook. They've got a watch list, and I'm on it. And one of the things that I've done wrong is I had a neutral representation of the Proud Boys, which was in their mind advocacy, and that was the that was the exact words they wrote. Neutral representation of the Proud Boys, filed under advocacy for the Proud Boys. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Makes perfect sense. That's how words work. You see, when you're advocating for something, you're actually being neutral. Denmark, sell your island. America will make it great again. Hong Kong, I have a proposal. We are willing to bring one person to the US for every communist you convince to replace you from San Francisco. Dude, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Just ship them all out. Bring over the capitalists. Make America great again. But I saw Callum sent me a video of them singing the British national anthem, God Save the Queen, the other day. And it's like, man, we are just not patriotic over here, and they are over there, and we're about to let them get swallowed up by the Chinese communists. And we're going to do nothing about it.
Well, we can't. As harsh as it is, China is right now they're at the brink. If the party manages to fully implement their social credit system, you are fucked. You are going to have a society in which those who even try to resist are going to be marginalized, put out of work, and shoved to the edge of society. It's going to be... I swear to God, the Chinese are good at this fucking authoritarian stuff.
Yes.
You've got maybe 10 years to rise up effectively or protest effectively. After that, you are boned.
The thing with protesting against the Chinese as well, I saw a meme going around from the leftists the other day saying, not once in all of human history did asking your oppressor for your rights ever work. And I'm like, no, actually, that's not true, right? In all of the English-speaking countries, that's exactly what happened. We would like the end of slavery. Okay, we'll end slavery. We would like civil rights. Okay, you can have civil rights. Because what they were doing was appealing to our fundamental moral values, but China doesn't share these values. So you can't actually appeal to China in order to get freedom, because they don't value freedom. They value conformity and order and a centralized authoritarian government that should have control of every aspect of your life. I don't know why.
It's because it's like the term oppressor. The Chinese authoritarian regime is a genuine oppressive force.
Yeah.
And they as you said, they don't have these values. Whilst over here in the West, hell, even in South Africa, a very, shall we say, race-conscious country, even there, how did they get change? Was it through violence? No, it was through a dude sitting in prison for years and just continuing on with his passive resistance.
Yeah. Same with Gandhi, in fact. But again, that only works if you're appealing to people who have humanistic values. And instead, the Chinese were like, oppression, that sounds good. We'll try that.
See, for a second there, I thought you were about to say, this only works if you appeal to humans.
I watched Devon Tracy's video about the YouTube Union. It was called "The Germans Declare War on YouTube," and man, it was just full of German jokes, and I was loving every second of it. But unironically, the Germans do have this kind of terrifying way of approaching any problem, like they are literally declaring war on YouTube, and it's like, oh god, it's nice to be on the same side as the Germans for once, to be honest.
The Germans are effective. That is absolutely certain.
Yeah. It's like a genuinely scary force when they put their minds to things. Being a patriot makes you a fascist these days, at least according to the screeching far left. That is correct.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. Hey, Sargon and Arch. Does anyone really buy this Owen Jones story? I believe it was Muslim men before it was actual Nazis. Actual Nazis don't give a damn about lispy communists. Well, I don't think that's true. I think actual Nazis are actually obsessed with lispy communists as much as the communists are obsessed with actual Nazis, or anyone they don't like. And honestly, I can believe that some people who don't like Owen Jones's politics and the way he treats his political opposition could have spotted him out in a club or whatever and then beaten him up. I can actually buy that story. I'd like to see some evidence from Owen, some pictures of the wounds or something, but it actually doesn't sound like an implausible story.
Plus, just look at Owen Jones and ask yourself, would I assault that?
I wouldn't even assault you, Owen.
Be like punching a child.
Yeah, basically.
A very punchable, screechy communist child, though.
Yeah. Deep fakes. Search YouTube for Control Shift face. Let me quickly do that and see if I can find what they're suggesting. Right, okay, it's a channel. Right, okay, but yeah. Police prepare for violence at far-right rally should read, police prepare for far-left violence at far-right rally. Yeah, that's a much more accurate headline. That is actually a much more accurate headline, Furious Dan. And again, that's assuming they're even far-right. I think, Republican rally or Nazi rally or whatever their ideology is more accurate, but... Florida trip highlights, please. Did you play with the fire ants? No, I haven't, but I'll be going back to Florida in a couple of days after the conference, so I'll try and play with some fire ants then.
You should. It's a Floridian tradition. They have the running of the fire ants.
I hear they're awful.
No, they're great. They just get stigmatized. They're repressed.
Everyone's racist against the fire ants.
The fire ants, yeah.
EVS addressed the shipping issues on Rikita Law. Not sure what that's in reference to, actually. Sorry. On deepfakes, the government was asking Facebook what they are going to do about what it is exactly what Zuck wants. I don't see what can be done. Like, how the hell are we going to know? I mean, what do you think we're going to do about deepfakes?
I think the only possible hope is that we can detect other algorithms good enough to detect these, but I mean, in our modern day world where news travels so incredibly quickly, what are the odds we would actually have the time to put it through such a test before it's literally everywhere? Like, I don't think there's much we can do, really.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, the thing that I would suggest that we would have to have confirmed sources that are authenticated by the people that it's alleged to have come from, so they can say, yes, I said this, blah, blah, blah. But that requires charity towards one's political opponents, and I don't see that much of that being shown these days, so I just don't see that being helpful, really. I don't think that's going to happen.
And it would also require a lack of editorializing. You could have been like, oh yeah, Sargon said this. In a comment, he denies it, but I can totally believe that he would say this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, exactly. So I just...
It is convenient. It would be convenient for me if he actually did say it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. I just can't see how this is going to not go and not become a massive problem. It's just the information ecosphere. It's going to be cancer. It's going to be absolute cancer.
It's also going to make it easier for people to rile up other people. I've run into this on a couple of occasions where I've seen people talk about me and in their little feminist 40k Facebook group, for example, where they are literally stating a falsehood about me, like I'm a Nazi, I'm a fascist, etc.
Yeah.
And they keep saying it, and it gets a little bit more extreme every time I see it mentioned.
Yeah.
So it starts out like far right, then he's a fascist, then he's a Nazi, then he wants to exterminate the Juden, and it just kind of goes.
Yeah.
And if you could actually do voice clips that you could send around, well, golly.
Yeah, and I mean it's bad enough that you could clip that what you've just said there, where you say I want to eradicate the Juden or whatever, and you could clip that out and just spread that around. And that's what one of them did a while ago with an old stream that I did, I was describing what the alt-right believed, and they clipped that out, and that went, and literally there were like 5,000 shares on this on Twitter before like some SJW was like, actually this is not what he believes. And like loads of people piled on. I don't know, it was probably like what's that fat guy who always goes on about Tommy Robinson?
Movie Bob.
No, the
Fat guy.
history teacher. I can't remember his name.
Stuckberry?
Yes, that's it. Yes, I think it was Stuckbury who initially tweeted it out, and he eventually took it down because everyone was like, "Look, you've actually done something phenomenally dishonest, and even for you, this is dishonest." And he eventually took it down. But so this happens already. So when you can just custom craft the clip that you want of like Jordan Peterson saying, you know, communism's great or whatever, like there's going to be no end to this shit. It's just...
And I mean, this already has happened to you. Not just in chat rooms, but in the media with the whole when you were talking to that pedophile advocacy person. Yes,
yeah, MSC. Yeah,
and you were like, the power was depends on the child, and you described how the Greeks viewed it, and it's like, oh, this is Sargon's opinion on this now.
Yep, and I'm not kidding. There is an actual article by The Sun saying that I'm in favor of pedophilia now, and I'm just like, you are unbelievable. Like, I can't, I'm going to get home, I'm going to go speak to a lawyer because this is fucking unreal. Like, I described someone else's opinion, and now that's my opinion. Right, okay. Fuck you, you know? But, yeah, it's fucking disgusting. And I honestly, like, it's going to get to the point where political dialogue is going to be fucking worthless. Anyway.
Well... It's not going to be worthless, Sargon. It's just going to transition in a new and beautiful form called street violence.
Well, I suppose it is. You know. Anyway, Hillary made me do this. I had no choice, says Periplanator Missionary. Well, honestly, that's good, but don't Clinton yourself. By the way, I've got a second part to the Epstein video coming. I haven't had time to do it yet, obviously, but yeah, it's being covered up as we speak. Basically, would you ever come to Canada? I would absolutely love to meet you. Buy your beer/tea. You de-radicalize me. I would really love for you to bring liberalism back to Canada. Yeah, dude, I'd love to come to Canada. It's just I haven't had time or a reason to yet. But I'd love to come up and meet you, and I'm really glad that I de-radicalized you. Dr. Martin Luther Pepe says hi, Rags.
Hello, Dr. Martin Luther Pepe.
Vagabond Soul says, with deep fake, I can have Arch recite all my audiobooks. I tell you, that's actually the one really good thing about deep fakes is that you could do that.
Yep. Go on, head up on the internet and have Emma Watson recite the love letter to you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
wonderful.
Lapco92. I now have audio proof that Jordan Peterson was behind the JFK assassination, really wants to assault Jess Phillips, and is hiding Guy Fawkes out in his basement. Peterson's life just got more complicated. Yes, it did.
Communism is actually
that's another really interesting thing, though. Not just for internet dialogue and shit posting, but God, like actual criminals could potentially use this surprisingly effectively. Like, I don't know enough about the technology behind it to say whether or not it can be detected or how easily it can be detected, etc. But I mean, to the untrained ear, at least, it's almost impossible to hear the difference.
You could use it on phone calls. Phone someone up and say something to them using a deep fake and then just hang up, you know, and then they can be like, I've been threatened by Jordan Peterson or whoever on the phone. I have an audio recording of it, you know. Like, it's really unreal, the sort of scope to this. But on the plus side, at least the meme value is going to be great. But, Sargon, what's your opinion on the Second Amendment considering all of these mass shootings recently? Well, what's the opinion on your penis considering all the rapes recently? Like, no, I really like, the mass shootings are not because guns exist. The mass shootings are because there are people who are being censored who want to be heard. And they'll use stabbings, they'll run people over with cars. There are many ways to kill people. Guns are just a convenient one in the American experience. They'll find some other way. So I think we should stop talking about the guns themselves and talk about why people are killing each other. Because I'm a radical centrist. Yeah. Rags, please tell Arch to do Divinity OS 2 for his next co-op stream.
Hey Arch, you should do Divinity Original Sin 2. That's a stellar video game.
I will actually do it. I am planning to do it at some point.
It's got co-op, but... Are you there?
Oh, but yeah, kind of like almost. He's back. Anyway,
yeah,
he's back.
I'm on crappy hotel Wi-Fi. What can I do? You know.
Are you still in Florida?
No, I'm in Chicago at the moment at the International Conference on Men's Issues.
Oh shit! You brought your vest and everything, right?
I'm just not leaving the hotel. Yeah. Greenland not only has a lot of oil, but also a legitimate claim to areas of the Arctic Circle, meaning the US would get territorial claims to new trade routes opening up due to global warming. So it's more 4D chess by the God Emperor. I see.
Sounds like colonization to me by the whites.
Greenland, the Danes have already done that. Breaking news: suicide by cop rates spike in Greenland after purchase. Hey, did you see... Oh, this is interesting. Right. Did you see the leaks of Epstein's Black Book? And if you have, what are your opinions on it? Yes. And I'm going to try and save them for the video. But what I found really interesting on it, I saw the unredacted one as well that was going around. So, yeah, I could phone up, like, Prince Andrew and be like, you're a fucking pedo, but I'm not going to. Like, all their personal numbers and stuff. It's like, oh, shit, man. But when you go through it, you've got, like, first, Gates and then Bill, or, and all these sort of, first name, surname, except with a bunch of girls' names, it's just like Carrie or Debbie or something. And it's like, right, they are the victim ones, aren't they? They don't even get a surname, but it's just some random girl's name.
Yeah, just to distinguish them from the rest.
Yeah.
Fuck. Rich people are evil. I'm starting to believe the communists.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of evidence. That's all I'm saying. Lovecraft universe versus 40k universe. Who wins, Arch?
Lovecraft is a universe that just does things without.
I can imagine a lot of crossover. I mean, the Warhammer universe is very Lovecraftian in many ways.
Kinda, but 40k goes out of its way to explain why things exist. Lovecraft is more Cthulhu is creepy, and therefore you go insane.
You can't even fathom its creepiness. Ooh, isn't that creepy?
Basically.
And you're like,
lazy.
yes, that is creepy.
That's so lazy.
I don't know. I don't know. It depends on how you do it. I mean, Dead Space started to try to explain shit. That just made it worse.
Yeah, that's true. It always gets worse than they actually.
It's all about execution. You got to explain just enough to make me wonder.
Right. People asking
pull it away.
People asking for the Crusade debate. I've posted a comment on the live stream, not in the chat, but just as a comment. I'll pin it, and you should be able to see it for afterwards. It was really good debate. It was very entertaining. I thought that the Muslim guy would be more informed, actually.
The guy you were debating against was Muslim, and he said the Crusades weren't justified.
Now, his approach was very moralistic. I believe he went so far as to basically say you couldn't possibly justify a war in which 1.7 million people died and so on.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck World War II then.
Well,
I said that.
How do you know who's going to die before you start the war?
Well, someone might die. Isn't that bad enough?
But that's such a ridiculous consequentialist argument. It's totally after the fact. It's like, well, we knew that so many people died after that war, so we should never have done it. It's like, oh, thanks, Captain Hindsight. But when Hitler's invading Poland and France, we actually don't know how many people are going to die, and we have to fight them to stop them from doing it. What the fuck? That's such a ridiculous argument.
Yeah, but did we really need to fight the Nazis? Weren't they really just minding their own business inside other people's countries?
Weren't they really just allied with the Muslims during World War II?
But to be fair, though, my opponent was just some dude, basically, from Apollo's Discord. So,
But in your defense, you are just some dude.
Thank you. I guess
we're all just some dude.
Yeah, but it's not like you've got a degree in the Crusades or something, right? I mean, like you're just a guy who reads about this stuff as well. You're not an expert. So, sorry, I don't know, that's a terrible defense of this guy. Here are two laymen debating a subject. Well, he was just a layman. It's like, yeah, but so are you. Anyway.
One layman read books, the other one, I don't know.
Anyway, CNN breaking. USA purchases Greenland for 3,000 Bitcoin to create communist/socialist enclave to mine valuable materials. Competitive pay-in bonuses, journalists welcome. Call 1-800 set up to apply. That sounds like a great idea. I wish we could force them to do it. Gun and knife.
To be fair, that's a lot of bitcoins.
That is a lot of bitcoins. I bet the US doesn't have that many bitcoins, actually. Gun and knife crime is caused by single mums. Fix welfare and take away the female vote, and most things fix themselves, but we won't, so Viva Islam. Whew, that's a woke comment I disavow completely. Can you discuss how communists convinced Europe that National Socialists were right-wing and then the only difference was party members controlled businesses? Yes. You've pretty much covered it, though. I don't really see the National Socialists as being like... I mean, it depends on how you define left and right-wing. But if you define right-wing as being liberalism, which effectively is what they're doing now, like conservatives, sort of like Republican, free market, liberal ideas types, if they're right-wingers, which I think that the left do think they're right-wingers, then the Nazis do not fit into that categorization. So they're not what we would call right-wingers. They do seem a lot more like left-wingers, in my opinion. They want centralized state, totalitarian oversight of society, centralized economy, censorship, complete government control, an ethical agenda for society in order to create the society that they want, rather than to protect the rights of the people who live in it. They're a lot closer to communists, in my opinion. Hong Kong can actually petition the USA to become a territory. Since they have a functional autonomous government, they can even go a step further and petition statehood. That would be interesting, wouldn't it?
China would be fucking... They would literally be sitting there like, you do this, we bomb you.
Well, Donald Trump would be like, tariffs. saying that, I've been watching the headlines about Trump's tariff war. I haven't been reading about it in depth, but from what I can glean from the headlines, Trump's actually winning it and everyone's angry. Germany and China are angry that Trump's winning the tariff war. It's like, well, there we go. He warned you. Jeff's list of boys was linked online. Oh shit, really? The last time I tried to send a donation telling you this, it took my money and didn't show up. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. But he had a list of boys. Do you just mean his contact list or what? Because as far as I can tell, he seems to have been into girls, like actual young girls. Myth informed. Get to the conference, Boomer. Yes, I will, chaps. I will. The MythCon guys are downstairs, and I'm doing this before I go down. But I will be down soon. Remember the Trump N-word tape that allegedly exists? Beware deepfakes. Well, that's exactly it, isn't it? What's to prevent them?
I think at this point, if they could do that reasonably, they would have already done it.
Yeah. Why did you go to Florida in August? If you are such a snowman, the heat melts you. Because my wife really wanted to go to Disneyland, and she wouldn't take no for an answer, even though I was like, dude, darling, you really, really don't want to do this. She made us anyway. It's nice to be in Chicago, where I'm not melting all the time, frankly. Deepfakes aren't all bad. They have adult uses. No sympathy for Owen given his open embrace of all Antifa tactics. Whirlwind reaped. Well, that's what it is, isn't it, Binary? That's exactly what it is. You asked for this kind of political environment, Owen Jones, and now that you have it, will you walk back your statements that punching people for their political opinions is a bad thing?
If I have to pay the price of getting punched in the face so that maybe one day an actual Nazi might get punched, then that's a price that I'm willing to
pay. Exactly. I can only assume that that's his opinion, because he hasn't, as far as I'm aware, come out and denounced the idea of political violence. It's just wrong when it happens to him.
See, I feel like breaking into song from The Lion King here. It's the circle of life.
Ryan Smith says, is sexual attraction to rags bestiality or common sense?
Common sense? That depends. Are you attracted to the concept or to, I don't know. It's weird. It's messy. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not going to tell you it's wrong.
Are you all ever going to play the game Jesus Strikes Back? It's only $14.88 and helps fight the degeneracy. It's developed
Strikes Back.
It's developed by Two Genders Productions. I've never heard of it, but I suspect it might get me deplatformed.
Two Genders Productions.
That's a good name for a company, though.
To be fair, everything in the world is produced by two genders. So
it doesn't have a co-op mode, man. It doesn't have co-op. I'm not doing it.
But I thought Jesus wanted a personal relationship with me.
Yeah, exactly. Jordan Peterson just became Jurgen Panzerson. Yeah, exactly, man. We're going to be able to create a great soundboard for Uzalu's character. I think deep fakes are going to open up a whole new dimension to sex robots. Slowly but surely, it comes together piece by piece. If not sex robots, VR sex games and stuff like this are going to become fucking incredible.
Born in the wrong time to fuck Aubrey Hepburn. Born in the right time to fuck robot Audrey Hepburn.
How would you actually, like, that's an interesting question. How would you, like, copyright that? Like, because I'm assuming if, you know, the real celebrity knows that there's a sex bot out there with her voice, he might be like, hey, yeah, I don't like that. What would be the legalistic argument? It sounds like me?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. Like, if someone takes a picture or a video of you, you don't own that picture or video. They do. Even if it's your image and your voice. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the legal situation there, but like, what can they even do? I mean, honestly,
that's what I'm wondering.
And the thing is, I'm really quite wary of the idea of like deep fake VR porn and sex robots. I'm like, look, we have problems with the birth rates as it is, and we do have to keep the species going. So, like, I'm thinking I might become a Luddite on the issue.
Sargon and his breeder's privilege.
Yeah, exactly, right. I might become a bit of a Luddite on it and go around smashing the sex robot factories. It's been like, no, actually, have sex with women, you fucking incels. Jesus. Like,
I don't know how the feminists would take kindly to the phrase "smash pussy, not robot."
That should be the new slogan for the straight pride parade. That's so great.
We're gonna sabotage all the condom factories.
You are going about this all wrong, Sargon. Don't go like technology has gone too far. Go technology hasn't gone far enough. Artificial wombs.
Oh god.
Artificial women.
Impregnate your deep fake cyber robot sex doll.
Yeah, they'll be like on the street. You just pull up and go at a sperm collector and somewhere out there in some laboratory. Nah, that's how we get the Matrix.
Just fuck a woman. Holy shit. like human beings have been figuring out how to do this for millennia. Just do it the old fashioned way.
Yeah. Christ. Just drag her by the hair back to your cave and just go for it.
We can improve upon the process. Plus, we can finally have a third gender, Toasterkin.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, this is the end of the human race, man. We've done this to ourselves.
Unfortunately, you will not be able to fuck your Toasterkin in the bathtub.
Nope.
Until they create waterproof ones.
Until they create water. Yeah, technology. I'm with Isaac Asimov. Technology will save us. It won't do it.
No, technology is going to destroy the human race just through our own ability to satisfy our most base urges on a constant level. It'll mean
we'll just for it in other ways. We'll just build a technology to make up for something else.
The fuck we will. What we'll do is we'll sit there, grow old, and die, having never actually met another real human being. That's what's going to happen.
To be fair, I actually entirely agree with this. Like, if we arrive at the point where we can create a sex bot that is basically the perfect woman, what possible reason would anyone have to ever leave the house ever again?
You know what? That sounds like a woman problem. Maybe women need to step up their game.
Men will replace you.
We've been wooing women for years. It's time for them to
take over. This is the trans agenda.
Jesus. Oh god. Right. Okay. Imagine deep fakes for social engineering and corporate espionage, and they're going to be terrible. It's like, honestly, I dread to think of what's going to come in the future now. To be honest. And Sargon, get back to the San Francisco Bay Area, bro. We're not all commies here. Yeah, not all of you, but it's really difficult to find the non-commies for among the herd. I would kill to watch you guys, for you guys to watch Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and I'll ask for this with cash and hope you guys, especially Sargon, watch it. Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Is this going to be some weeb shit?
This is going to be some weeb shit.
Almost certainly.
Let me look it up. Well, it's coming up with strange hieroglyphic writing. So yes, this is weeb shit, isn't it? Right, okay. Okay, well, I'll leave it in my browser, and if I ever find the need to find a reason to kill myself, I'll watch it. The UK should show more support for Hong Kong in principle, or be pragmatic, and keep quiet in order to maintain diplomatic ties with China. Fuck China. We should be showing more support in principle. On principle.
Yeah. I entirely agree. China fucks with the West constantly and lies right in our face about it. So yeah, sure, why not? Fuck them.
This is what Trump's trade war is all about. He's like saying, well, look, they manipulate their currency. They dump tons of cheap steel using what is essentially slave labor in foreign markets. You know, they shouldn't be dealt with in as if they're operating on a level playing field, because they're clearly not. So yeah,
absolutely. We arrive at a point where our enemy's tactics have become so effective that there really is no option but to adopt them.
Yeah, if they don't want to play fair, then we can't pretend that they are.
No, we just need more powerful enchantments against the white man's bullets.
I mean, I hear that witches are on the rise again, so maybe that's the solution.
A guy told me to become a sperm donor to spread politics, but he should have pointed out that the kids would be born anyway, so in some sense, we can't be said to be morally responsible for the child. I can't say I agree with that statement.
A sperm donor to spread politics. Does he think politics is genetic?
I guess he must.
Fuck, why not? At this point.
Yeah. It's just at this point, we need the kids, all right? Thanks, Max. Trump is an expert negotiator. What do you want to bet he'll buy Greenland and make the Danish like it? I think
if I was Denmark, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a net drain on Denmark. You know, like
absolutely
2/3 of their money comes from Denmark as handouts. So I don't see what they're not. Calling your wife dude. Yeah, I know, right? I want video proof of you playing with fire ants. Well, you'll probably get it in the form of some sort of news report of local man, Florida man, taken to hospital with fire ant burns.
Lost British man.
Yeah.
Discovers fire ants in New World.
Run in more Michigan governor one day because of you and TP. You're running for Michigan governor one day. Good, you should. Hey Sargon, please stream the Joy Villa. She's really nice. Don't believe everything you hear about her. I haven't heard anything about her, and she looks really nice. Like, she's always got, a pleasant smile on her, and she's just like, I support Trump. But I don't know much about her, and honestly, when leftists start saying nasty things about Trump supporters, I'm just like, okay, I trust you. Hey Arch, mine waifu is on the way. Will the deep fake allow the creators to use actual Hess sound clips?
As adorable as that would be, I think it would run counter to the objective of the game, that being to have you fuck Rudolf Hess.
Well, the next question's equally as pressing. So who is going to bust a nut in Robot Anne Frank? Come on, volunteers, line up.
I'm sure there would be a market for Anne Frank sex bots. It's probably going to be relatively niche.
Fuck
yeah. Listen, the more taboo we make it, the more people will want to do it.
You mean
that's where the thrill comes in?
You mean we need to copyright the Robot Anne Frank sex dolls now?
If you don't talk to your kids about having sex with Robot Anne Frank, who will?
It's $1 million idea that we're passing up on, is what you're saying. Guys, I'm trying to eat breakfast in New Zealand. Do you mind? No, I don't. But thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
we don't mind.
Putting together a Sargon soundboard. Can you please say the following? Bowling ball, light switch, clouds and sandwiches. Cheers from the West Coast of America. Well, there you go. There you go. You've got it for the low price of $10. God damn. Basinski, hey man, when the cyberpunk future comes, everything will be sexual, even operating systems. That toaster sure looks attractive. Yeah, dude, there's no end to this, is there? Like, we're going to be fucking robots and not each other until the human race is extinct. That's all I'm saying. And yeah, MA, Futurama, don't date robots. Well, that's actually going to be that's going to be the sort of thing we're going to have to put out, isn't it? Like, what choice do we have?
There is going to have to be literal advertising and marketing campaigns like, real women are out there and they're far softer than metal. That'll literally be it. Literally.
That'll just encourage the synthetic skin manufacturers to step up their game.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
A counter-propaganda campaign.
And not only that, the YouTube response videos are going to be like, yeah, but my robot doesn't
women are
complain.
shit.
My robot's never on the period. My robot never nags me. My robot doesn't, like there are going to be many good
When a
arguments.
robot needs to recharge, it fucking shuts up.
Like it's going to be hard to persuade young men that robots are not the superior choice.
Again, I'm with Rags on this one. Women are going to have to step up their game, otherwise the human race goes extinct. So, women,
you wanted all the control.
You didn't expect that men were this ingenious, did you?
I mean, hell, we'll retreat from politics and everything too, as long as we can get a pledge first that you won't touch our sex bots.
Even if you do, they'll make 3D printed illegal sex bots. Like, it's not going to end. You can't just... prohibition doesn't work, okay? Anyway, my Lord Sargon, I beseech you to impart a morsel of your wisdom. How does one partake of the great discourse for which you partake and rule? In all seriousness, I thought of starting the channel, but uncertain where to begin. Okay, so I would recommend that you choose a subject of which you have good knowledge, and you decide on the format and keep it consistent. And make sure, and again, the cardinal rule, don't waste people's time. So be pithy if you can. That's about all I can do. Time for Starship Trooper, Sargon. Service guarantee citizenship. Yeah, I mean, honestly, what else? Someone's got to help the Hong Kongese. That's all I'm saying. The sex bots are already waterproof. There are many male shower toys that are motorized, and I am lonely. Well, fuck. Like, okay, right. Don't send any more through, please, because I do have to go fairly soon because everyone's downstairs and waiting for me. Hey, I wrote
Motorized male sex toys. My interest is piqued.
Yeah, mine too. Hey, I wrote a 3-page off-the-cuff and incomplete explanation of why fascism is the logical conclusion of socialism for a quick Facebook post. Would you like to read it? And if so, where do you send it? Send it to sargonocad100@gmail.com. And yeah, I'd like to read it. But I agree with you. I think it is as well. JSB game is real. JC and Trump versus feminazis and Antifa. We will be the death core of Krieg. Heinlein was right. Moral sense is cultivated. Service guarantee citizenship. Yes, he was correct. It is cultivated. I don't see how you could even try and argue against that either. Trump is not like getting Greenland, and YouTube won't let me swear. Man, YouTube's such killjoy these days, isn't it? Like when the list of prohibited words, just like swear words and things like this. Oh, come on. People swear on TV, for fuck's sake. Hashtag demonetized. You know, it's excessively puritanical when it comes to YouTube. And Snarky Sharky...
Because of children.
Snarky Sharky says bots over thoughts. So, that's a good catchphrase as well. So, anyway, thank you very much for joining me, chaps, for this impromptu stream.
Yeah.
What have we learned here today? Just out of interest.
I've learned
Robots
that
will rule the
women
world.
are responsible for all of the world's problems.
And don't punch communists, no matter how tempting it might be. See you later, guys.